As we all know, the American dream is to be self-employed and not have to work for a boss, but to create your own financial freedom. And and one of the ways that many people have done that is to be self-employed. However, I've thought of 4 jobs that are actually legal, but they're only legal to do if you have a boss. Unbelievable. In the land of the home of the brave and the free, and there are 4 very important jobs, I would say, in my opinion, again, you can't do if you want to be self-employed. And I'll tell you what they are. 1, dominatrix or fetish work. So, in case you don't know, dominatrix is when you dominate over somebody. Like, there are actual people out there in this world. Usually they're very high-powered businessmen types where they have much power, so much power in their jobs that when their job is over and they go home, they like to feel and they like to give up their power to a dominatrix. So he will go and pay a woman to, slap him around and call him names, all kinds of stuff like that. And, tie him up, tease him. There's fetish, like you worship my feet. Well, you might think that sounds, okay. Like you might be thinking, well, why is that illegal? Well, it is. It's considered part of prostitution. And if you all of a sudden put ads out like that, what would happen? It would be considered a lewd act, even if you're not having sex. And in case you don't know, yeah, it is legal if you work for somebody else, meaning in large cities, they do have places called dungeons, and you go and you pay a door fee, and then you get dominated. And yeah, those places do exist in most large cities. So go figure. I would say that's highly discriminatory against mostly women, because it's mostly women that do that kind of work. And yeah, women do that kind of work, but for themselves, but it's illegal. They could actually be arrested for doing so. So I hope you're learning something from this. This is why it's so important to get decriminalization for sex workers. Okay, so number 2, stripping. Well, of course, we all know that there's strip clubs, pretty much in every city. However, if a woman wanted to, say, just work on her own and just, not have to work for a boss in a club, but maybe she wants to drive to the client's house or do parties or work maybe out of her own hotel or apartment or house or whatever, wherever she chooses. Well, that's considered prostitution, even if you're not having sex. Just because they would say it's lewd, like it's a lewd act because you're taking your clothes off and you're arousing, anything that has to do with arousal, sexual arousal, that's considered prostitution. So that unfortunately is also illegal, and it's very sad that in today's age, we still treat women like property, like they're supposed to be owned or something, like they have to have a boss or something. And again, another very important reason to get full decriminalization for sex workers. Number 3, making porn. Now, this one might surprise you. A lot of people think it's that simple, like you just whip a camera out and all of a sudden it's legal. Wrong. No. And surprisingly, the only 2 states that porn is actually legal is California and New Hampshire, and that's it. All the other states, it's illegal. You can't set up a porn industry in any other state. It's illegal. Only California and New Hampshire where it's legal. And yes, you have to have a boss. You can't just like put an ad out and say, oh, I'm doing a porn movie, I need to hire someone, and then, be in your movie and pay the person. That would be absolutely be prostitution, absolutely be against the law. And I'm fearful that the porn industry might not want to decriminalize sex work because they might be fearful that they would lose business, of course, because it would be a free and open market. And yeah, go figure. And last but not least, I'm sure you're all aware that being a provider, that is a provider of sex, aka sex worker, prostitute, whatever, escort, of course, everyone knows that's illegal except for, again, in Nevada, which everyone seems to forget about. Funny how that is. Maybe it's because they're like out in isolated areas that no one can know about, like where they keep the nuclear waste sites and things like that. Could be an experiment. I don't know. Yeah, very isolating. They take a huge portion of your money and they have way too much control and they're on power trips and it's not right what they do to us. Please be for the decriminalization of sex workers. It's very, very important. I will attach a link if you want to make a completely anonymous and tax-deductible donation to our cause. We will be going to the Supreme Court possibly soon. Take care.